So number one, if we call this angle x, this is our opposite, hypotenuse and adjacent. So since we have an O and an A, we're going to use tangent of our angle x is equal to 24 over 22. If we convert this to a decimal, 24 divided by 22, so 1.0909. Okay, so go ahead and hit shift tangent and see what you get. So when we hit shift 10, you should have got 47 degrees. 47 degrees. Angle x is equal to 47 degrees. Okay, so all we're going to do really is we're going to set up the equations. Some of my students are getting a little mad because I'm requiring the equations, and sorry, but that's the only way I know that you actually are understanding. So here's my angle x. We have our opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So put in the chat box. Is that going to be a sine, cosine, or tangent? Good, it is cosine. Go ahead and write out the whole equation, like cosine x equals what over what. Just so I can see that you guys are starting to get this. Good, I need a few more responses. It's actually an equals instead of a plus, but I know. Am I to assume that there's like 15 people who don't know? Can you please put IDK if you don't know? I went outside a little bit ago and I had an allergy from something that was out there. So that's why I'm having like a sneezing attack. Sorry, guys, sorry. Okay, so this goes back to, this is our trig. This is our SOHCAHTOA. Looking at the sides that we have, that's why I ask you to label them. If I have an O and an A, I use tangent. If I have an A and a C, I use cosine. If I have an O and an H, I use sine. So looking at our triangle, we've done this before. I don't have an O, so no O. I have an A and an H. So if I go back up here, I'm looking at A and H, I'm going to use cosine. So I have the cosine of my angle, which I don't know. So cosine of my unknown angle x is going to equal my adjacent over hypotenuse adjacent is 19, and my hypotenuse is 27. Now that's to set up the equation for us to solve. Our second step is to turn that to a decimal. So I would have the cosine of my angle x is equal to 19 divided by 27 equals 0.7037. Okay, let's try it again. 0.7037. So I would leave that in my calculator because I'm looking for the cosine. I'm going to hit shift cosine. And this is closer to 45 degrees than it is to 46 degrees. So x is equal to 45 degrees. And you're done. So if you're one of the several people that put IDK, can you let me know if that makes more sense now? Okay. Okay, good. Hayden, what do you think? Okay, so let's go on to the second part. Again, labeling our triangle. This from this angle right here, that's 75. This is going to be my opposite. This would be my hypotenuse. And this would be my adjacent if it was there. So we know that sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. This is SOH. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So because the x is in the denominator, what do we have to do? Good. A couple people in the chat box says switch. I'm going to switch these. So x is going to equal 10 divided by the sine of 75. We can do this in 2 steps or 1, your choice. I could find the 75 and I hit sine. Okay, so 0.9659. And I can take 10 and divide it by that. Or you can say 10 divided by 75 sine equals. And that's 10.35. But looking at this, we ask, is that closer to 3.4 or 3? And it's 3.4 or 10.4. Just rounding to the nearest decimal. And that was it. I'm going to go down. 11. Labeling, we have opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So in the chat box, tell me what that's going to be. Chat box, tell me what that's going to be.